In this video, I want to talk about memoir and memoir writing. And the reason that I want to bring this up is that there's reading that you need to do in the work folder. That is a chapter in a larger book about the experiences in this author's life as she works in the world of technology. So, to be a good writer, you have to be a good reader. To be a good text creator, you have to be a good text receiver. You have to be on both sides of the line, back and forth, back and forth. Just like, and this is common in a lot of aspects in terms of skill you want to develop. You practice it, you watch someone else practice it. You develop a technique, you study other people's techniques, so that you can get ideas and material that then you can use correctly and put your own stamp on it, if you will, and grow that way. So in the reading class, we do writing, and in the writing class, we do reading, so that you can watch how this operates as something that you're creating, but then also as something that you are receiving. So as you read this essay, I want you to ask yourself, how does this flow? How does this author open up the essay? What is the title like? What does the title suggest? How does this author create interest, maintain it, reward it? What is the style like? How is this author putting words together? Are these words intimidating? Are these words making you slow down and causing the reading to feel like a task, causing attention to the reading act itself? Or are the words put together so that the experience is a flowing experience, and you go through the essay or the chapter or the text without even really realizing that you are involved in it materially, like, as a text. And what I mean by this is, have you ever watched just an incredible movie that was just very well done, and it connected with you, and you were able to sit down for 2 hours and get involved in the thing, and you could almost forget that you're watching a movie. It's just the story is front and center, and you look up at the end, and an hour and a half or 2 hours or 2.5 hours have passed by, and you were so much able to place yourself into the story, into the narrative, that the actual mechanics of the delivery never they were invisible. They were so well done, they were invisible. And you can watch a poorly made movie where the lighting's wrong, or the audio is wrong, or the acting is poor, or the casting was done incorrectly, and you can't get over the fact that this type of person shouldn't be playing this type of character. And there was something wrong or poorly done in the construction of the text, and then all of a sudden you are realizing, this movie's it's too slow, and you are not allowed to engage with the story because the vehicle of the story is constantly calling attention to itself because it's clunky. It's obtrusive. It's an obstacle to your concentration or whatnot. You can do this with a song. You can listen to the same song sung by an incredible band with an incredible singer, and you can really in a good venue with the power, the volume is just right, or whatever. The acoustics are great, and that song sort of enters into you, and then you go somewhere else, and someone else is trying to sing the song with the wrong sort of sound equipment. They're not singing very well. It just doesn't sound good at all. And the song, its potential, but because of the mechanics of the thing, the second experience is not enjoyable, right? So same thing with writing, same thing with so many things. And what I want you to do is I want you to experience the attempts that people have made to communicate through the page. This article that you're going to read, this chapter in a book, it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell the audience something. What is it trying to say? What is it trying to evoke? It might not be like a straight up propositional message, but it might be trying to evoke something. It might be trying to work on an attitudinal level or angle and create some sort of sensation or um, attitude, inside you as you read. And is this text doing it? And how well does it do it? And you can start imitating that. You can start paying attention to that, and then bringing some of that to your own work. So what I want to have you read here is a piece of what's called personal memoir, personal memoir. It's better referred to as personal history, a personal history essay. Now, what we mean by that is we mean history in the sense of not give me your life story, but we mean something that actually happened. That's my email. Sorry, that actually happened to somebody. It's an actual historical event in the sense that it took place in space and time. Yesterday around 3 in the afternoon, I cooked myself up some rice and beans with some sausage. That actually happened. That's an historical event. You see, it took place in space and time in a certain geographical location. So when you write personal history, you are looking back into your life and you're trying to find one event or one space and time moment that could make a good story, and that could have layers to it, have sort of a room for resonance. It could be more than just an actual literal explanation of what happened. It could be evocative. It could be haunting to the author, if you the reader, if you will. You could use it to draw attention to bigger questions. Okay, and I think that's what's going on with this piece that you're going to read. You certainly are going to be able to read the surface explanation of the actual what happened that night, what was going on, but there's going to be more that's involved, right? There are larger questions that are at play there, and the author may or may not provide a convincing answer, but there's going to be at least the raising of the notion, right, that there is more here at play. There's more depth. There's depth to what we are talking about, and that usually means that larger human issues and concerns are quietly being alluded to or involved, like loss or love or ambition or drive or memory or family or relationships of some type, or justice or injustice. These are human things. These are the big things in our lives: health, death, life, rebirth. And we could get more specific with names like divorce, or marriage, or the experience of a first love, or finding that perfect job, or being disappointed in a job, or going to a certain school and realizing it wasn't what you thought. So sort of I've been looking forward to this for 3 or 4 years, and now I'm disappointed. You can put a name on that. That can be a job, a school, a vacation. It could be all sorts of stuff. So you can deal with the specifics, understanding that there is a more general notion that you're being asked to touch and hold and think about as you read this. Now, the thing about personal history is that because you have a certain number of years under your belt now at this point, you probably have the raw material to do something like this. It's just your ability to get better at composition. In other words, putting the elements together and doing it in a way that produces a very rich reading experience. This is not just the point here is not to give you information about what happened on a certain day, right? That information serves a deeper purpose to get you to be involved with the issues and the questions I was just talking about. So if you look back in your life and you learn how to do this, you can find moments in your life where you grew, where you were faced with a revelation, where you had to pivot in your life path, some sort of meaningful point. Now, the question would be, well, why was it meaningful to you? And can this be a text that you can create so that the audience that you present it to can also find meaning in it in that same way? This might be an interesting type of writing that you do. One other thing that I wanted to do with the readings that I give you in this class is to show you there are a lot of different types of writing. There's there's general observation writing, like the connections technique that I presented. And that's just one technique of maybe, like I said, maybe 18 to 20 that can help you write a creative and unusual essay. There's sports writing. There's this personal history, and that's not even talking about humor writing. That's not talking about graphic arts writing, like graphic novels, using much more visual elements, art and words working together to produce a text. There's just so much. It's so much more than just writing research papers for a class. I know that really had to be something that we focused on here. Some of the skills that we try to focus on, I try to focus on for you, can carry over to other coursework like the summary, the evaluation, things like that. But if you wanted to explore the world of writing, there's just so many different types of writing. We're not even talking about fiction, short story writing, novel writing, screenwriting, playwriting for plays on the theater, or screenwriting for movies. We're not talking about poetry, which could be incredibly powerful. There's just a whole world out there to be investigated. If you are in any way interested in this, or you feel like you've had some sort of talent or some sort of good experience in the last couple of classes you've taken, well, I would encourage you to do that. Think about it. And here's one of the types, right? Personal history. So I hope you enjoy the chapter. The bibliographic information should be there as to what book it's coming from and who's the author. You don't have to do anything with this essay but read it, okay? And you don't have to write on it. Just read it. Let it soak in. Watch the artist work, in this case, the artist with words on a page, and see what it does, all right? So thank you for watching.